Good morning, it's Ravi from Southern California, and it has been 3 weeks since I planted my box garden. I'm going to do a quick update today because I am so excited how everything's doing. Let's go over everything and let's look at the boxes as well. Now, all in all, the boxes are holding up, and I am really watering them. I bring the hose over here and I put it in. I have not strung up the tulle, T-U-L-L-E, in the fashion in which I'm going to do. I've been so busy working on other gardens and getting all that ready and my truck bed and everything, little by little, that I haven't done this yet, because this is going to take me maybe an hour. I don't know. But what I'm going to do is string it up where I can probably leave it for the whole summer. Right now, because in desperation, I had to literally, let's walk over here real quick and I'll tell you what I did. I had to literally come out here with a bolt, there's the bolt, and start stringing. I just strung it along the front. Some squirrels, I have now found out, have been dumped here along with other animals by a neighbor that lives way down the road. Thought he didn't want his squirrels, raccoons, and possums, and he's been dumping things. So they will come down the hill, and what did they find? I mean, we have our own squirrels, but they found all this and just tore the dickens out of it as soon as I planted it. So it worked. Just by putting the tulle in the front. See where the tulle is? Now I can come out in the morning and take it off a little because everything's flowering, but I have been hand pollinating. When the squirrel comes up and it touches the tulle, because he can't get through that little wire, but they easily jump, he gets stuck in the tulle. So he doesn't want to be near the tulle at all. So that has worked fabulous. So that got rid of him 100%. He hasn't touched anything in here. And as far as the birds, the goldfinches started to come in and do a little bit of chewing here and there because zucchini leaves are edible. We don't eat them. Most people don't, but some people do. And you could do different things with them, but birds love them, especially goldfinches. When they're looking for greens and things are starting to die back, see the weeds over by the ponds are already dying back, then they'll come here into the garden and they'll eat certain things. And greens is what they want. And so they'll sit on top and they'll nibble away. But all in all, I just wanted to go over some of the stuff here. So we'll come back to this in a minute. The squash is all doing fabulous. The little box was struggling. You may have remembered there was 2 plants. I took the other one out and transplanted it somewhere else on the property. That's starting to take off, but it's a little box, but you know what? It's going to do good. These are zucchini, and that's a zucchini hybrid. Anytime you keep seeds that do really well, the fruit and the plant in your garden, the following plants that come up are going to be fantastic because they're used to your climate, the way you grow, everything. Just everything. So look how vigorous they are growing compared to zucchini that was store-bought as well as some seeds started in the house. They'll grow a little slower. They're coming, along. They're getting adapted to the new area because you don't know where those seeds came from. But here, last year, the fruit was from here. And you know what? Let's go ahead and do this. Look at this. I have not picked it yet. It is a hybrid zucchini, but look at this. I'm going to pick that for dinner later. This thing's a monster and heavy. I have already picked some, and they're so sweet and good. I just fry them up with butter. No peeling or anything. Just chop them up real thin, throw them on a frying pan with a little bit of butter. It's slightly brown, salt, pepper, that's it, and we love it, and the dogs love it. So the squash is doing really good in the boxes, and all in all, I'm going to say that the boxes are holding up a lot longer than I thought they would. Before, once I tried it and they broke right down, these did not. Maybe the plants are holding them. I don't know, but they're doing really, really well. That's just a box sitting there doing good. You can see that too, and that's got the tomato plant. See how I just strung it up quick? You'll see in the next week or two, I'm going to change that up. So that tomato plant's doing really good. I do not know what that is because it's something that came up in my garden. And again, it's going to do really well. These are chili peppers, and they're already loaded with chilies. So in here, I might do a compost in place later, and I may or may not because, well, it could go straight into the ground if it wants to once it sets more roots, but we'll see. And these are walking onions. The radishes are doing fabulous. Started them, like I told you, on a paper towel, brought them out here, spaced them out, and they're doing really good. This is sungolds, and they're already throwing tomatoes. Plant's doing good, and hopefully the plant will continue to get bigger before it throws too many. And there's a pea back there. I stuck some peas in. Cucumbers. Oh, I forgot. I was going to pick that and make a cucumber drink. There's a cucumber. They're a little slow, and I know they're slow because even though, see, the wall is cold. We haven't been warm at night, And so you know how you can judge? You know how I can judge? I know when it's right when my ginger and turmeric come up. They haven't come up yet, which means the nights are still too cold. Once the ginger and turmeric come up, it is time to get watermelon going, cucumbers, all the things that really love the warmth. And my Korean melons, which I love. It's just still too cold. So this will take off later, and if it doesn't, I'll replant. That is a scarlet runner bean. Been poking those around here and there. Now this is the 100 tomatoes. I did 2 of those. I bought 2 plants. I planted one straight into a bag of potting soil because I've seen people do it and I wanted to try it. It didn't work. It got stunted and it's small, and you would think it would do really well. It had the whole bag to itself, no competition. It was well watered, well drained. It was staked, but it's just not like nature would grow that type of plant. So it's not doing well. I'm going to pull it out and replant that. But this one that's in the box, let's take a look. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? It's got a walking onion in there, and that's it. It's just beautiful. The tomatoes yet, have not ripened. We don't have any tomatoes, but it is full of flowers because this plant is putting all its energy into size right now. It is happy. It's got the best room to grow in, a box or a tote. It could have been a tote or a bucket, and it's flourishing, so it wants to get size. Look how big it is compared to the moringa. I mean, this thing already is a good close to, it's 4 feet maybe. I don't think it's 5 feet tall, but a good 4 foot tall. So it's doing really, really well. And then this, the reason I say that is I bought this kale from the store, and I haven't planted the other ones. I planted a couple, and they're tiny. They're stunted. I don't know where to put them, but I'll have to get them planted today. And this one in the box is just flourishing. It also has a scarlet runner bean, 2 of them coming up there. And then this is cucumbers. And again, they're doing okay. I just hope they hang on until the weather's right. And once I see my ginger and turmeric coming up, I will know it is the right time. And then my watermelon. Looky, look how big the leaves are. I don't know if I can do this with the camera and peek in. Probably not. This has got a door here so I can get in. This is a compost in place 2 system. I can lift this up because this pot is in another pot, and I can throw leaves in there. There's a scarlet runner bean. Now let me tell you what I'm doing with the beans, and I have found this out. I have seen that when I plant beans next to a lot of my plants, because beans are nitrogen fixing, the plants have just flourished and turned really green. So I'm going around now because Gary grew scarlet runner beans last year in his garden, and he brought a whole jar in. He shelled them and everything, and he was eating them. So I grabbed a handful and I threw them in a cup on the windowsill, and they started to right away swell and root. So I just came out here and started spotting them everywhere. It was so funny because they came up somewhere and it was like, what is that? I forgot. I didn't label it. But I can see the plants just greened up and everything. So I'm going to start spotting beans all over the place. But I am just so jazzed over those 2 watermelon in there. I think I might see flowers. So it's the wrong time of the year here because we're still cool, but they are doing really good. I also protected them. I put some glass there. I put this here. And when it gets windy, I put that tote lid in front just because I don't want the canyon breeze to come up and blow cold air on it. I want it to think it's warmer than it is. Let's keep this closed because I don't want any squirrel to get it. And then what's in here is garlic chives. So I thought I would do a quick update to show you how good the cardboard boxes are doing. So this way, if you're getting ready and you're in an area where you're getting ready to start planting and you have cardboard boxes, I mean, I've got them from all different places, you can see, you can start loading them up. You saw how I did it. It had all those branches from the trees that are around here that we trim. And then I threw leaves and stuff in there and kitchen scraps if I had. Sometimes I didn't even have it. It was just leaves from everything. It could be from other squash plants. It could be from any plant. Threw it in there. The only thing I will tell you I don't throw in there, and I'm not sure if it's okay, I mean, if it will hinder the plants at all or slow them down, is geraniums. Because some people use geranium leaves to deter certain pests, and I want to bring in the good critters, so It's fine if they're dried up, but I don't use any green geraniums. So I'll just throw them to the side, and once they dry up, I use them on the bottom. But otherwise, everything, pepper, walnut, whatever plants you've got, lots of pepper trees, anything. And then of course, I love my kale and my collard. I love my tree collard. I use that for everything. I just go and break off a lot of leaves, green, brown, yellow, and throw those in there. And that's it. And then I top it with potting soil. Let me make something clear right now, in case you are going out to buy some potting soil, because I do buy cheap potting soil and I put that on the top if I want to, or I grab from another tote from last year and put that on the top because I want the plants to be in a soil where they could get their roots in and start to grow. Potting soil is not the same as garden soil. So if you go into the store, sometimes you see garden soil and it's like, wow, there's a big bag. It's only $4 and potting soil is $10. The reason is garden soil is exactly what it says. It's made to go into the ground, not pots. It does not retain water. Generally, they don't have any types of plant food in it. Not that it's that important if you're composting in place anyways. It basically is wood chips. They may not even be completely broke down, and possibly some sort of manure. It could be cow manure or whatever they're going to use, or chicken manure. The point is, the whole idea of garden soil is to take your clay soil or sand, and instead of having it cake, you're supposed to dig that in so it makes it a little more fluffier. So it adds in wood chips, it adds in types of forest matter, as they say, and different things, so it's not a hard clay. You don't want hard clay. I am dealing with planting in containers, be it boxes or totes or buckets. And so I only want to deal with potting soil. Potting soil, be it cheap or be it expensive, is already broke down. You're not going to bring earthworms or anything to it because there's nothing there for anything to eat. Nothing's going to eat it. Even termites won't eat it because there's nothing in it. It's already broke down. But garden soil is not completely broke down. The whole idea is to put garden soil into your ground. Never raised beds, ground, and then it works with your soil and changes the format, the conditions of your, let's say, bad soil. So keep that in mind. So when I say buy cheap potting soil, I actually mean potting soil. I don't care what kind you buy, just get potting soil because that has elements in there to retain water. It's already broke down. And then you can add and push in your leaves or whatever you want. If you don't have any leaves, once you start planting, you will have leaves. And once you've got leaves, you can break them off. And like I said, if you didn't have leaves before, you'll have leaves. Just make a little hole and push them in. And now this plant is going to feed off of that leaf that I just broke off. And now it's going to have its own plant food that I just created for that plant. So keep that in mind. So I think I've gone over everything. This is an update on my box garden that I'm thrilled with. I actually am thinking of setting up more. The reason is all these boxes, I'm pretty sure, will be pretty much gone by next spring. And next spring, I can come back here and shovel everything up. If the plants still are alive, like let's say the peppers are doing good and the box is gone. If it's alive and doing well right there, I'll leave it. If not, I will transfer anything that's alive and well, which could be peppers or tomatoes, possibly the eggplant. I will move those and maybe the kale into a, let's say a tote, or into, I could even put the kale in the ground, or into a flower pot or whatever I want, or move it back into another box. But if it's doing well, I'll leave it. But in the meantime, like I was saying, all this cardboard is going to break down and turn into soil. And I can use that again to start the process over, which means I will have far more soil, and you will too, than you've ever had before because you're making your own soil. So with that, I am going back to work. I'm so excited that spring is here, and I just can't wait to have zucchini, well, a zucchini hybrid for dinner again tonight. And believe you me, the dogs love it. With that, have a wonderful, wonderful day. And don't forget to eat what you grow. Bye-bye.